Once upon a time, there was a wise monk named Tzin who lived in the hills of Bhutan. He was over 90 years old. When visitors came to seek his advice, they expected great teachings, meditation techniques, deep spiritual revelations, ancient rituals. But every time someone asked him how to live a better life in old age, he would smile and say, "Be lazy, but be lazy in the right things." Most people laughed, thinking it was a joke, but he never laughed back. He would simply sip his tea, gaze into the distance, and say, "You have run long enough." Now, your happiness lies in what you no longer chase. This message is for you if you feel tired, not just in your bones, but in your soul. If you've spent decades giving, proving, achieving, fighting, and you are finally ready to live instead of just functioning, then listen carefully. Today, I am not here to push you harder. I am here to invite you to slow down, to feel yourself again, to listen to the silence in your breath, and perhaps, for the first time, realize that laziness, true spiritual laziness, can be the gateway to inner peace. So let's begin. 10 things you should be lazy about in old age, if you truly want to be free. 1. Be lazy about explaining yourself. Let me ask you, how many years have you spent explaining your decisions to people who never walked a single day in your shoes? How many hours have you wasted trying to justify choices that brought you peace, even if they didn't please others? Buddha once said, "You are your own master. You create your own future." In youth, we think every action must be explained. But with age comes a different wisdom. Silence is sometimes more honest than words. You said no to a wedding invitation. You chose not to visit certain relatives. You distanced yourself from people who drained you. And then you stayed awake at night, wondering if you should have explained yourself better. But the truth is, peace needs no permission, and clarity does not always require words. In old age, you earn the right to withdraw, to change your mind without leaving a trail of explanations, and without owing anyone an essay about it. So be lazy with your explanations. Let them misunderstand you. Let them create their stories. Let them say you've changed because you have. And that is your liberation. 2. Be lazy about chasing people. Tell me honestly, how many people did you chase just to keep a relationship alive? You called first, texted first, forgave first. You remembered their birthdays. You adjusted your tone, your truth, your needs, just to be loved. But that wasn't love. It was fear. Fear of being alone. Here's the truth no one tells you. When you stop chasing, 2 things happen. The wrong people disappear, the right ones stay. You are not a lighthouse that has to spin in circles to be seen. You are a flame. Those meant to feel your warmth will come closer. Those not meant for you will feel your silence as distance, and that's okay. Buddha taught upekkha, equanimity, loving without clinging, caring without controlling, standing strong even when others aren't there. So be lazy in chasing. Let friendships fade if they must. Let silence replace obligation. Let life teach you who truly belongs. 3. Be lazy about fixing others. Remember how many times you stayed up late trying to heal broken people. You listened for hours, paid their debts, carried emotions that weren't yours. You gave advice, even when it cost your own peace. And still they didn't change. They didn't even thank you. Sometimes they don't even remember. Here lies a deep Buddhist truth. Compassion is not sacrifice. It is presence without suffering. You are not their therapist, savior, or second chance. You are a soul on your own sacred journey, and in old age, that journey becomes holy. Let them fall. Let them choose. Let life itself teach them through pain, loss, and time. Your task is not to save. Your task is to be free. So be lazy about fixing. Let broken people heal themselves, or not. 4. Be lazy about arguing. How many fights have you had just to be right? And how many of them brought you peace? There is a Zen story. Two monks were arguing about whether a flag moves in the wind. One said, "The flag moves." The other said, "No, the wind moves." Their master said, "You are both wrong. It is your mind that moves. When you argue with a fool, you become one. In old age, you learn that silence is not weakness. It is wisdom dressed in patience. You don't need to counter. You don't need to prove your intentions. You don't need to shout louder than they do. Just walk away. Your energy is now a prayer. Protect it. Let others win arguments they'll later regret. Let them misunderstand you. Your peace is too precious to trade for small battles. Fifth, be lazy about controlling everything. You tried, didn't you? You tried to be the planner, the protector, the one who always had everything under control. You thought if you just worked harder, thought faster, prepared better, nothing would fall apart. But it still did. Your child chose a different path. Your health wrote its own story. People left, even though you did everything right. Storms came unexpected and unstoppable, and now, sitting among the ruins of unfulfilled plans, you realize something powerful. You never had control. Buddhism teaches anicca, impermanence. Everything that arises will pass away. Nothing, no relationship, no possession, no identity lasts forever. The tighter you grip, the more it hurts when it slips away. We cling to people, plans, outcomes, as if our happiness depended on everything staying exactly how we want it. But life isn't a statue. It moves, shifts, transforms. The stronger your grip, the deeper your pain when change inevitably arrives. What you hold on to by force, you lose by force. What you hold on to with peace either stays or goes without breaking you. Control is an illusion. Your peace should not depend on it. Wish, plan, hope, but release the need for a specific outcome. Sometimes the unknown is kinder than anything you could have planned. Freedom begins in the letting go. 6. Be lazy about constant busyness. You were taught to hustle, to stay productive, to never waste time. And so you ran. Decades of to-do lists, calendars, appointments, obligations. But now your soul whispers something softer. What if you simply sat still and existed? You see, sati, mindfulness, is not found in rushing. It blooms in stillness. Imagine sitting under a tree, watching leaves move in the wind. Doing nothing, being complete. Busyness often masks grief. We fill our calendars, inboxes, and thoughts to escape the silence that might remind us of loss. Grief doesn't always show up as tears. Sometimes it shows up as endless busyness, because in stillness, truths we've been avoiding rise up. Who am I without the busyness? What have I been running from? What truly matters to me? These aren't distractions. They are awakenings. Be lazy with activity, not from indifference, but from reverence. Not every movement needs a purpose. Not every hour needs a plan. Let silence be sacred again. 7th, be lazy about perfection. Perfection is the prison built from shame. It's time to break free. You cleaned the house so no one would judge. You smiled through pain so no one would ask. You tried to be the perfect parent, partner, version of what others wanted, but it was never enough. And you were never truly seen. Buddhism teaches that all beings are dukkha, marked by imperfection. This is not a flaw, it's a door. The crack in the pot is where the water seeps. The scar on your skin is where the light enters. So be lazy about your image. Stop exhausting yourself to appear perfect. People will remember your presence, not your perfection. Wear the same clothes twice, or until they fall apart. Let your wrinkles show the roadmaps of your laughter, heartbreak, and survival. Let your home be messy if it means you rest. You are not a museum curator. You are a human being with limits and needs. Honor them. Be real. Stumble. Tell your stories chaotically and authentically. The world needs your truth, not your performance. 8th, be lazy about making everyone happy. You sacrificed yourself to meet others' expectations. You said yes when you meant no. You smiled while your heart broke, but people still weren't satisfied. Trying to please everyone is the slowest form of self-destruction. Most of these people were never truly pleased, no matter how much you gave. You can offer support, but not salvation. Their healing, their joy, their peace, that's their journey, not your responsibility. Buddha taught compassion, but not dependency. True love starts with honoring your own needs. 9. Be lazy about fearing the future. How many nights did you lie awake, worrying about things that never even happened? How much of your precious energy was spent rehearsing tragedies that never arrived? Old age teaches a quiet truth. Most of the things we fear are only shadows, not monsters. The Buddha said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." Fear is a mind creation. It paints dark futures, but it cannot predict reality. You worried about getting sick and stayed healthy. You feared losing people and some left, but you survived. You dreaded change, and yet every change brought a new version of you. The truth is, you are stronger than you think. You are braver than you remember. Be lazy with fear. When the mind whispers worst-case scenarios, smile gently and say, "Not now. I am here, I am breathing, and that is enough." Life cannot be controlled, but it can be trusted. Breathe into the unknown. It often carries gifts greater than your plans. 10th, be lazy about rushing toward the end. Now you might feel it, the subtle rush to do everything before time runs out. The ticking clock, the urgency to see, achieve, fix, leave a legacy. But listen carefully. You are not a project to complete. You are a story being told, moment by moment. The last chapters are not meant to be frantic. They are meant to be tender, slow, sacred. You don't have to skydive, write a bestseller, climb a mountain, or leave behind an empire. Sometimes the greatest masterpiece is a quiet afternoon spent with someone you love. A single honest laugh. A deep, peaceful breath. In Buddhist tradition, monks meditate on impermanence, not to fear death, but to cherish life more fully. Each sunrise is a bonus chapter. Each small kindness is an eternity in itself. Be lazy about rushing. There is nowhere you need to get to. You are already where you're meant to be. Live slowly, love deeply, leave gently. Final words. So be lazy, not out of carelessness, but out of wisdom. Be lazy about explaining, chasing, fixing, arguing, controlling, rushing. Be lazy so you can finally be fully alive. In the end, peace does not come from doing more. It comes from needing less. Sip your tea slowly, laugh a little louder, sleep a little longer, forgive a little quicker. You have earned your rest. You have earned your happiness. Walk slowly now. The finish line can wait. Life is not a race. It is a sacred homecoming. As this story comes to an end, take a deep breath and remember, the real journey is within you. If this touched your heart, carry its lesson with you today, with gentleness, with courage, with peace. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. If you feel called, like, share, and subscribe for more journeys within. Until we meet again, be well, be kind, and stay connected to your inner light.